What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We just have more propaganda in the news the other day. I've seen that the Boston court, they want to conduct the death penalty on Jahar Sanarev. He and his brother Tamerlan were the ones who were responsible for the Boston Marathon bombing. And of course, Tamerlan's already dead. He died a few days after the marathon bombing by the numbers. But what I want to talk about in this video is how this marathon bombing, it got me inspired to make the video about the Chicago Blackhawks rigged Stanley Cup in 2013 over the Boston Bruins, and how this bombing is absolutely perfectly synced with the Stanley Cup Finals. And understand, it was not Jahar and Tamerlan Sanarev who were responsible for this bombing. It was your U.S. government, the military, the media, and the Jesuit order known as the Society of Jesus. They are the ones who are responsible for these rituals. They conduct them every single day by the language of gematria. Back in 2013, I didn't know gematria yet, but I still sat there and said, man, the Bruins are in the Stanley Cup after the Boston Marathon bombing, Patriots win the Super Bowl after 9/11. It's like, come on, man. Come on. But yeah, these two gentlemen, you don't even know if these are really real people. Remember the story CNN ran years ago talking about thispersondoesnotexist.com, showing how easy it is to use artificial intelligence. You go on to thispersondoesnotexist.com. Every time you refresh the page, it'll give you a new computer-generated image. None of those people are real. But the language of gematria comes from Kabbalah, which has the belief that God created the world with letters, numbers, and words. And there's 4 base ciphers we talk about: the alphabetic order, which is what's on your currency, the reverse alphabetic order, and the alphabetic order in the reverse with the rules of numerology. That means you break every letter down to a single digit. So A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and Z is 1, Y is 2, X is 3, up to A is 26. And then the alphabetic order would be, with the rules of numerology, would mean when you get the J, the 10th letter, 1 plus 0 is 1, K, the 11th letter, 1 plus 1 is 2, and then the same for the reverse. And it might seem dumb to some people, but that's because you're uneducated. You don't realize that this is the system, this is the hidden language that the Jesuits, who control government, media, military, sports, all forms of entertainment, this is how they control the masses and how they conduct their rituals every day. If you're new here, you can go to freetofindtruth.blogspot.com and look over 10,000 posts that are exactly the same every single day by the same numerological pattern, decoding sports, news, everything. That's Zachary Hubbard's blog. Be sure to check out his website, gematriaeffect.news. You go on there and you'll see the same thing, same patterns every single day. And I know who's winning the Stanley Cup this year. If you want to sign up for the Patreon, you can. It'll be the pinned comment in the comment section. That was the Stanley Cup final I called. This will be 5 straight years calling the Stanley Cup final correct before the season begins. I already got a video on the Blues in 2019, the Lightning last year. I'm going to get that one out on this year's final when it wraps up, as well as Pittsburgh in 2017 and Washington in 2018. In fact, Washington in 2018 has a lot to do with this year's Stanley Cup final, as those of you on Patreon already knew. Last year, we called the Stanley Cup literally by the time the conference finals were set. We knew who was winning the Stanley Cup this year because, again, we know their code and their language. So enough of that. Let's get into this video. So the Boston Marathon bombing happened April 15th, 2013 at approximately 2:49 p.m. Now, what I want you to see is how the Stanley Cup Finals began June 12th and ended on June 24th. Now, from April 15th, the date of the bombing, or so we're told, to the start of the Stanley Cup was 58 days. Look at this. Boston Marathon, 58. Tamerlan Sanarev, 58. He's one of the brothers responsible for the bombing. And that's a huge number, 58. Rosicrucian's 58. Secret societies, 58. Freemasonry's 58. Modern Freemasonry was born out of the Rosicrucian order. We the People, 58. In God We Trust, 58. Hillary Clinton lost the 58th presidential selection and wrote a book called What Happened, 58. There's a whole lot more to that 58 list. But anyway, this is supposedly a picture of him. And look at this. He got his full name in the most pure ciphers, 117. And notice how the 2013 Boston Marathon, it was the 117th running. How perfect is that? And it was on Patriots Day, reminding you of the Patriots winning the Super Bowl after 9/11. So anyway, his birthday is October 21st. Look at how from the Boston Marathon bombing to his upcoming birthday was 190 days on the nose. Game 6, June 24th, is the day leaving 190 days left in the year. That's the day the Blackhawks beat the Bruins, where they scored 2 goals in 17 seconds in the final minute to win the Stanley Cup. And they did it on the day leaving 190 days left in the year. What a perfect ritual. Now check this out here. From April 15th to June 24th, again, from the marathon bombing to the end of the Stanley Cup, was exactly 71 days. And notice Patrick Kane is 71. Catholic is also 71. The Jesuits or the Masons within the Catholic Church. Patrick Kane won the Conn Smythe Trophy that year as playoffs MVP. Like how on Patreon, I just put out a video talking about this year's Conn Smythe Trophy winner. Oh, we don't know it for sure yet, but we got it down to 2 guys. And we will figure it out for sure after this round. So look at this. From June 24th to Saronev's birthday was exactly 119 days, right? And that should remind you that the NHL season that year began because it was a lockout season due to a player strike, but in reality, it was because they were setting up this ritual. It began on January 19th, right? 119. It could also be a date written 19/1, like 191, like how Society of Jesus, when you run the alphabetic order, is 191. And September 11th, 9/11, can also be written 119, like 119. Think about it. So, Jakar Saronev, look at this. Just look at this. Look at his name. 322 and 137, just like Chicago Blackhawks. When you run the alphabetic order, you run the alphabetic order in reverse, and the alphabetic order in reverse with the rules of numerology. One thing's for certain. If you're somebody that thinks that you can type in, that you can make any word or phrase sum to anything you want, and that these are all random numbers, you need to go to college and take a statistics and probability class. Because you obviously don't know anything about probability. You don't understand the astronomical odds and that this is impossible without scripting. Go on gematrinator.com, type in, start playing around with it. Type in letters, numbers, words, phrases. See how many of them you can get to sum to 322 and 137. And think about 322, right? Big boss number. The number Yale and Skull and Bones identifies by. But look at his birthday. July 22nd, right? And look at this. He injured 3, or he killed 3 and had 264 injured. You add that up, it's 267. From his birthday before the bombing, his last birthday before the bombing to the bombing was 267 days. Like, what a coincidence, right? And you could also say it's a total span of 268 days. And remember, the Chicago Blackhawks, if you don't know, they were established on September 25th, the 268th day of the year. Now look at this. July 22nd, that's the 203rd day of the year. And Boston Marathon is 203. And he got blamed for the Boston Marathon bombing. And in light of the 2012-2013 season, that was the lockout year. And notice lockout's 97, so Chicago Blackhawks. And the Blackhawks were established September 25th, the day leaving 97 days left in the year. Now look at this. The Blackhawks that year finished with 77 points, right? The Stanley Cup Finals, 77. Boston Marathon, 77. For those of you on Patreon, we're talking a hell of a lot about 77 this year in light of the Stanley Cup now, aren't we? But look at Boston here. I want you to see this. Look at how they scored 131 goals, gave up 109, and had 62 points for the season. We're going to talk about all these numbers. Boston scores 131 goals. That's the championship number, 131. When you run the alphabetic order, championships 131, so Super Bowl. And think about this. When they lost in Game 6, they lost 3-2. 131 is the 32nd prime number. And notice Stanley Cup Finals, 62. Blackhawks, 62. They lost the Stanley Cup Final to the Blackhawks after the bombing, 62. So, the Blackhawks, as said before, they were established September 25th. And notice how from the bombing, April 15th, or from the Blackhawks, from their establishment date, September 25th, 2012, to the bombing, was again 203 days, like Boston Marathon. And the Bruins were established November 1st, 1924. And look at how from November 1st, 2012 to the start of the Stanley Cup Finals was 223 days, right? Remember the Synagogue of Satan's 223, Masonics 223. The Synagogue of Satan is the name for the false Jews. And this language of gematria is Jewish. And think about it, the Jesuit order and the Society of Jesus, they were partially created by Jews who converted to Catholicism. And 223 is the 48th prime number, 48-game season. And look at how from the date the Bruins were eliminated in the Stanley Cup, when they lost the Stanley Cup, Game 6, June 24th, their establishment date was 131 days. How perfect is that? Notice the 18 weeks and 5 days, how this ties into 9/11. World Trade Center sums to 185. And again, championship, 131. And look at this. From the Boston Marathon bombing to their date of establishment was exactly 201 days, just like the Jesuit order. Think about Pope Francis right now, the first publicly Jesuit pope. His birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio's 201. The founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola's 201. Think about Event 201, the coronavirus outbreak simulation of October 18th, 2019. Pope Francis lives in Suite 201 at the Vatican, known as the Domus Sancta Marte, which sums to 201. So, again, Tamerlan Saranov, look at how from his last birthday, because he died 4 days after the shooting or the bombing, notice how it's 177 days, just like the Jesuit order when you run the alphabetic order. And look at his brother's name, Jakar Saranov, 191, like Society of Jesus. And keep in mind, 191's the 43rd prime number. Bruins is also 43. And the Stanley Cup Finals conclude June 24th, the 175th day of the year, and Boston Marathon 175. You got to ask yourself, are you a coincidence theorist? Because if you are, this is a hell of a lot of coincidences to accept. And again, this cipher right here, this is on your currency. B2, O15, S19, T20, O15, N14. You'll see things like this in the U.S. currency. Remember, the Bavarian Illuminati was established by Adam Weishaupt. Adam Weishaupt, in the most pure cipher, the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, sums to 51. He established the Bavarian Illuminati on May 1st, 5/1, originally as Order of Illuminati, and Order of Illuminati is 201 in this cipher. And when you write out Bavarian Illuminati, running the alphabetic order, it's 188. When you add up your currency, the $1 bill, the $2 bill, the 5, the 10, the 20, the 50, and the 100, it sums to 188, and not by accident. There's so many things when you learn this code that you see right through. Think about a piano having 88 keys on it. Think about the number 88 in relation to time. The number 88 consists of 4 circles. The total circumference of a circle is 360 degrees. When you multiply 360 by 4, it equals 1,440. There's 1,440 minutes in a day. That's why in the movie Back to the Future, they have to time travel at 88 miles an hour. Stanley Cup playoffs is also 88. So is Jakor Saranov is also 88. And think about a piano being black and white having 88 keys on it. That should remind you of the black and white checkerboard floors in the Masonic temples and lodges. Again, just a few fun facts, a few niblets of information, but just know if you're a shit-talking hater, that's 5 years in a row, baby. We about to cash out again for the 5th straight year. Stanley Cup Finals. I'll tell you this, they're concluding July 9th. If you want to sign up for the Patreon, you're more than welcome to. It'll be the pinned post in the comments section. Guys, have a great rest of your day or night, depending on where you are in the world. Talk to you soon.